Hello there, my name is Alex, and in today's video I'm gonna show you 5 things that Slide 3 does better than Slide 2. And these are my personal opinions about the game, so please don't spam my comment section with death threats. And keep in mind that I will mention spoilers in this video, so if you haven't played Slide 2 and Slide 3, I wouldn't recommend watching this video. So I just want to point that out there so you don't get spoiled, but I'm gonna shut up now and get right into the list. So the number 1 is the pacing. The pacing is a lot different compared to Slide 2, and let me explain why. If you compare the second half of Slide 2 with Slide 3, you will notice that the game has a better flow and it doesn't make you feel as bored. You're probably thinking, what the hell am I talking about? And I'm gonna explain it. Chapter 4 and 5 and the last chapter in Slide 2, in my opinion, felt very dragged out. And I don't know why, but I feel like they just extended everything. They made things more complicated and they kind of just added more stuff just to make the game feel longer. And I think that's a very bad thing to do. And don't get me wrong, I still enjoy playing the second half of Slide 2, but it felt very dragged out. And I mean, Sucker Punch, they could have made it shorter, but they made it super long instead. So let's get right into number 2. And this topic is very debated among Sly Cooper fans. Personally, I think that Slide 3 does a better job when it comes to all the missions that you have to do. Because in Slide 2 we had so many jobs and most of them took long to finish. And the good thing about variety in Slide 3 is that it keeps things fresh. And rather than doing the same thing over and over again, I think that Sucker Punch, I think they realized their mistake with Slide 2, and that is why they made Slide 3 a lot better with a ton of new gameplay aspects. Like in almost every mission in Slide 3 there was a new some kind of gameplay thing that you had to do, and I really like that. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I like a lot of missions in Slide 2, but I feel like these pickpocketing missions and, you know, I feel like they became very repetitive. And I feel like, I'm not saying that pickpocketing keys is a boring thing. I'm just saying that they should have made it a little bit different each time, so it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm gonna have to do another retrieving a bunch of keys for something useless, you know. But that's just my opinion. And now we go to number 3, and this is better locations. Slide 3 has the best. I can't even talk right now. Slide 3 has the best level design in the trilogy, and my biggest issue with Slide 2 is that there are so many chapters that are way too dark. I mean, I'm just gonna give you an example. Chapter 4, 5 were really dark. Chapter 3 was not really too dark, but it was kinda, the coloring in the chapter 3 was kind of boring. I didn't really like it. So there are 3 chapters in Slide 2 that was not that great, to be honest. I mean, the locations were fine, but I just feel like the darkness and the depressing lighting was just terrible. And they could have made it dark, but still made it so that you can see what's going on. And you can also notice that Sucker Punch added more textures and different objects in Slide 3, and that made every location feel a lot more alive and way more interesting, because I feel like because you add more objects, that makes the world and the location a lot more quote-unquote realistic, instead of just a plain area with barely any objects. But that's just my opinion. Let's go to number 4, and this is about Dr. M. And this, I'm not gonna talk about his own backstory, but I will say that I know that Clockwork is probably the most iconic villain in the series, because, well, he was pretty much the first bad villain we had, you know. I mean, I know the Finished 5 was a group, but Clockwork was the main villain back in Sly 1, so you can kind of say that Clockwork is the most iconic one, even if you don't like him. But in my opinion, Dr. M is a well-written character compared to Clockwork. And I can understand that there is a lot of mystery behind Clockwork's existence, but Dr. M's connection with Connor Cooper, and that's Sly Cooper's father, if you do know that, was way more interesting. And I would have loved to have Dr. M in Sly 4, but they killed him off in Sly 3, so that wasn't really a possibility. Because we should have had more time with him, so we could have had more flashback from Dr. M's time with Connor and McSweeney back in the day when they did heists and whatever. But we all know what happened in Sly 4. I'm not going to go into detail because I'm going to get death threats again. So let's go to the last one, number 5, and that is replay value. I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on this, but I don't care. In Sly 3 you have the option to replay missions and also master thief challenges, but in Sly 2 you can't replay specific missions, you have to play the entire chapter again. And in my opinion, this is a big reason why Sly 3 is a game that I play more, because I feel like I can just pick a mission or I can just pick an area that I like. But if you're a person that always replay a game 100% every time, you're probably not going to be bothered by this. But when I really like a game, I want to have the option to go to a specific chapter or a specific mission and play it. But in Sly 2 they're forcing you to play everything from the beginning to the end, and I don't really like that. But I mean, if you have played the game, you can go back to every chapter, but it's just an empty chapter with guards pretty much, and you can pick up clue bottles if you haven't done that already. But I feel like, you know, they should have had the option to play specific missions, but maybe they didn't have time or they didn't think people would like that. But I'm glad they did it for Sly 3. And those were my top 5 things that Sly 3 does better than Sly 2. And I just want to say that I really love this franchise. I know it sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm not really. I'm more critiquing the franchise. And I'm really excited about the TV show if we even get it. But if you have any questions that you didn't like about this video, please let me know in the comment section. And I just want to say that me and Jacob, aka BASSUB, are going to make Sly Cooper and The Walking Dead videos together very soon. So stay tuned for that. And please subscribe and leave a like. And I hope that I will see you next time. Bye.